I'm wondering if we today have witnessed the end of an era with Magnus Carlsen as world champion. The reigning champion is in trouble in New York. Magnus Carlsen finished day one of the World Rapid Championship with his worst score ever. He has to make a comeback today, or else the crown is up for grabs.
He has historically always had a terrible day one. This one is terrible.
Yeah.
It's like terrible to another level, but he can still come back. There's 8 games to go. He can't really lose a game.
Magnus Carlsen takes the win.
Magnus claims the draw.
So we know there was some drama after the previous guy. The arbiter apparently ran after Magnus, and then we now know from NRK he got a penalty, a fine for wearing jeans.
He was fined, actually. Not threatened, but fined officially.
He's been fined and apparently also threatened with being disqualified if he turns up with jeans again. I assume that is for tomorrow. Obviously, he didn't bring 2 sets of pants to the venue.
I was just about to ask you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I saw him exit the toilet before this game began, but there was no change of pants, I don't believe, in hand.
I'm getting messages that the arbiter has said, I think maybe to NRK, that Magnus Carlsen is being kicked out of the tournament for playing with jeans for the second game. He's apparently allowed to finish this game. He might not be notified yet.
Haven't they got better things to do than look at what he's wearing on his... What do they want him to do? Take his jeans off and play naked? I don't want to see that part of Magnus, you know?
So we are now following this story, trying to get confirmed if Magnus Carlsen will in fact be kicked out of the tournament.
I don't believe it. I mean, I mean, it's not the New York fashion show. I don't believe he's going to be kicked out for keeping his jeans on.
Okay, we see an arbiter grabbing Magnus. Let's, we see an arbiter grabbing Magnus, asking him to go probably to... Oh, what's happening? We do not know if Magnus Carlsen will be kicked out of the tournament. This is, in fact, from FIDE's own regulations about dress code. Imagine if the reigning champion is kicked out for wearing jeans.
And I suppose the pairings are not out, probably because of that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I guess this is what everyone is now waiting for. We have a guest joining us. It is Magnus Carlsen's former manager and someone working closely with Take. It's Espen Agdestein. Hi, Espen.
Magnus, he looks sharp. He has a nice shirt and a nice jacket and fitting jeans. So he's not kind of looking inappropriate in any way. So hopefully this will be resolved without kind of these dramatic measures, because that would be kind of creating a massive problem both for FIDE and for Magnus. That shouldn't be necessary.
Magnus, I'm not really sure what to say. Can you just take me through what just happened?
Yeah, I mean, obviously this has not been the best tournament for me. Yesterday was a difficult day. You know, I lost 1 game, could have lost a couple more, and generally was not playing well, a bit out of control. Honestly, like I had good sleep, and I had a nice lunch meeting before I came here, and I just went to I just barely had time to go to the room, change, so I put on a shirt, a jacket, and honestly, like I didn't even think about the jeans. So, and I even changed my shoes, but I didn't even think about it. And so I got here, and I don't know if it was after the first game or second game. Like, I think it was after. Yeah, I don't remember. But I got a warning that I needed to change my. Well, first of all, I got a fine, just fine, and then I got a warning that I would not be paired if I didn't go change my
immediately
clothes. No, they said that I could do it after the 3rd round today. I said like I'll change tomorrow if that's okay. I just like I didn't even realize it today, but they said, well, you have to change now, and well, at that point it became, you know, a bit of a matter of principle for me, and yeah, so here we are.
Wow. So are you kicked out completely? I've been hearing you can come back tomorrow. Like you have a 1-round forfeit? Have you appealed? What is...
No, I haven't appealed. Like, honestly, I'm too old at this point to care too much. Like, if they wanna, if this is what they want to do, like if this is, I guess it goes both ways, right? Nobody wants to back down, and this is where we are. It's fine by me. I'll, you know, probably head off to somewhere where the weather is a bit nicer than here, and yeah, that's it.
So to be clear, you're not playing the Blitz?
I mean, no.
Okay.
Unless, like, yeah, I don't know what would have to change for that to happen, but no.
Wow. Before I let you go to your destination of better weather, has this ever happened in the past? Like, you've been late, and that's been like a meme.
Yeah.
But have you gotten warnings about, we don't want you late, or we don't want you to wear certain clothes? Has this ever happened to this extent in the past?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But, you know, there was this whole thing where like FIDE actively wanted to, they were actually like going after players as well to get them not to sign with Freestyle, basically threatening them that they wouldn't be able to play the World Championship cycle if they played in Freestyle. So honestly, my patience with them was not very big to begin with, and it's okay. Like they can enforce their rules. That's fine by me. And my response is that fine, then I'm out. Like fuck you.
I don't think anything more has to be said. Okay.
Well, yeah. I'm sorry for you know, for you guys and everybody at home. I hope you have a good rest of your holidays, and I'll see you at some point.
Yeah. All right, Magnus. Enjoy your vacation.
Simon, you've been in chess for a long time. Have you ever seen anything like this?
I'm not the same, no, but it always amazes me how FIDE can get a brilliant venue, like, you know, New York, amazing, great sponsorship opportunities. They have the most marketable person in the world, Magnus Carlsen, and then they shoot themselves in the head. That's the way I'm seeing it, right?
Yeah. And what now? What will be the story going forwards for Magnus Carlsen's relationship to FIDE, which has been topsy-turvy, to put it that way?
Well, I don't think this is going to help, right?
Yeah.
I mean, one of the problems all along, I mean, Magnus is the best player in the world. You know, I think everyone agrees that. Even Gukesh agrees that, and he said that after becoming world champion. And one of the reasons Magnus didn't want to get involved with the cycle because of his differences with FIDE and them being very stubborn with not discussing the idea of changing time formats. And you know, they're losing a legend of the game. So it's like, you know, just discussing things, having communication seems to be a key thing that is lacking at this moment in time. And I'm not saying Magnus is, you know, of course he's not 100% right. He's made mistakes, but you've got to be flexible.
I can see someone in the stream supporting FIDE's decision, and a lot of people not supporting it.
Say hello to Emil.
Yeah, supporting Magnus.
You made a tweet. Somebody complained about your clothes. What happened?
Well, so a long story short, yes, I got fined after the first round of today's.
For what?
For wearing sweater.
A sweater.
Yeah, a sweater, and
like
probably
a statement on it. Like was it?
Yeah, it was a statement like the brand of white, whatever. Like, should this be considered as a statement? I don't think so.
Okay.
But it's like exactly the same I played like the CCT finals in Oslo. Honestly, I can't believe it. We are really discussing this right now. Yeah, that's more than just strange. Technically, a lot of players are violating the dress code. If you like go across the playing hall, you can basically find, you can probably find some good money, raise some good money for like increase the fund of like the Blitz tournament or the Rapid tournament. Yeah, basically every day, like dozens of guys are in stinkers and they have nothing against it. Once again, imagine like the chief arbiter. I mean, I spoke to him briefly, and he's taking pictures of players, and he sends like for some approval to Mr. Adli, and this is what is happening as far as I understood. Yeah, and Mr. Adli is like whenever is here right now, whatever, like maybe in Egypt, yeah, having his.
He's not even here.
Yeah, I don't think he's here. I don't think he's here. So, and he's like
the guy making.
He's our censor. He's our censor. Yeah. And basically, what happened today, I think, to Magnus as well, and to me, I said like, all right, like it's not too much time left before the next round. Okay, after this round, like after next round, I can go home and like change, if it's so necessary. And they say no, if you like keep like the same outfit, then you will be excluded out of the tournament. And I think they said the same to Magnus. And this is like blackmailing typically. And okay, you already fined for 200, and like basically you can charge another like 200, okay, whatever, for looking good. For some of us, this is more affordable than for others. But I mean, like basically coming to, let's say, okay, someone like Magnus for me and saying, okay, we're going to kick you out of the tournament if you don't change. This is like, wow.
The reigning champion, Magnus Carlsen, is out of both Rapid and Blitz, announcing he feels it's a war on FIDE now, a war with FIDE right now. And we have FIDE representative Emil Sutovsky in the sofa now with Levi. And I'm eager now, Levi, to hear that side of the story.
Yeah, Kai, I'm here with Grandmaster Emil Sutovsky, and I will introduce him as that first because he was a very successful player in his career and now FIDE CEO. Emil, it's been a very strange day as a spectator and a person who has to provide information to the audience. It was kind of 3 peaceful rounds, and then I started hearing rumblings that something is wrong with Magnus's dress code. But he sat over here, like on an iPad, for an hour, and nothing was happening. And then he sat for an interview. I got the news, and he left. So, what happened?
Well, you described the story how it was, and we always wanted to have some sort of peaceful resolution to that. And unfortunately, like Magnus actually admitted himself, for him it became a matter of principle from some moment. It's not like he was not given enough time. It's not like he was told to change immediately. He did have a lot of time to go and to do so. And unfortunately, he just decided that he wouldn't do so. Yeah, it's a pity, but at the same time, I think the decision of Chief Arbiter was fully correct, and I also think that regulations are there. It's not just we are sticking to regulations. I hate this sticking to regulations for the sake of regulations, but there is a reason why regulations are there. B, they have been developed actually by Athletes Commission, which consists of players who were working on that, and I think there is a fair balance between, let's say, players who want to wear something, but also not very sportive, not very casual. And we are playing. You saw the premises we are playing at, and I think it also deserves to keep proper attire. And what's more, several players were already fined and weren't, and they did change, and it would be simply wrong to have. Even Magnus, even with all huge respect, to play under different set of rules, and we were very flexible. But when the chief arbiter warned Magnus, he just didn't care. And then Vichy later spoke to Magnus and Henrik, and Lukas Turley spoke to them. And we really hope to the last moment that he will change, because the hotel is just, is 3 minutes walk for the player's convenience. It's easy to get there. The player can go, or anybody from his team, but it didn't happen. And actually, I think for Magnus, maybe it was out of combination of frustration of how he played in this tournament, and also his general attitude towards any cooperation with FIDE.
I see. Yeah, there was a lot there. I suppose I'll ask first about the commission, because we had Giri and Jan here just before you sat down, and Jan also spoke. He had some sweater. He had to go speak. It was kind of unclear. I thought there was first a player who complained, but it's not a player. It's somebody on a commission. Oddly, I guess he's responsible for sort of the judgment call ultimately. Are these players like Giri, Nepo, current active top 10, top 20, whatever players? Are they involved in conversations with the Players Commission on what they can and can't wear in the tournament?
We sent the list of the proposals, the draft of dress code to all the players, and they could feedback, but no feedback was coming. Also, for this dress code, more or less, I mean, it has been adjusted, actually softened but initially it was introduced in 2018, so it's 6 years, and it was just softened compared to that. So it's not something new. Also, it has to be said that for some reason, I mean, I don't know why, but there are several players who always find a way to stress that they just don't care and they would wear whatever it is. And for a number of years, they just there were no action taken on anything. So, but this year we also softened it again, but urged that, look, we're playing at such a venue, it will be strictly followed, and basically that's what happened. And it's pity that some players prefer just to not care. As if you see, out of 180 players, maybe a handful didn't care. All the rest are fine with that, and we didn't hear complaints about that. And
I will just say, I mean, Jan and Anish were sort of laughing about the fact that this policy will really only be enforced for top 10 and 20 players. Like if you're off on board 40 and you're in jeans and sneakers, FIDE won't chase you down.
That's not true. That's not true. We have been chasing players down as well, but obviously the top players who are under cameras, they're simply under radar of arbiters and those who see it. And I think the higher your position is, the higher your responsibility. But in general, I think we keep talking about chess being professional and so on. In tennis, I mean, it would be very strange to imagine that players would not fulfill not only dress code but also press conference and all the stuff which is required from professional tennis player to be a player. Now, the only argument which I hear to that, yes, but you don't pay as much as in tennis, and that's why. But actually, for top players, I think they could understand that respecting all that, not only about the dress code, about once again appearing in the press conference or doing some extra activity, playing some simul or doing some social activity. Unfortunately, every time we have like to convince players to do so, and we rarely have a cooperation on that, and that's a pity. Again, today's we are not happy about. I'm very unhappy about the fact that the tournament would continue without Magnus. Shall he prefer not to play in round 10? I have to say that he was not disqualified from the tournament. I think you tweeted something that he was disqualified from the tournament. He was not.
So he had the chance to come back.
Yes, he was banned from the round because that's the actually sort of punishment which is prescribed.
Okay.
So technically he was not banned to play in round 10.
Yes, but I would argue that's more symbolic than anything else. I mean,
it depends where it happens and depends how many points you have. When you have 5 out of 9, maybe it becomes symbolic.
Sure, yeah.
If you have 7 out of 9, I can recall how Fischer continued in Sousse in a zonal tournament, interzonal, when he got actually punished, but then he decided to withdraw nevertheless. Again, there is never an intention to harm players because we actually, as FIDE, put a lot of effort to have also this event or have many other events. And as probably your guests in the studio, if you interview them, they would surely confirm the prize money which we're putting get higher and higher in every event. So it's not true to say that we just wanted to impose some rules and to make players to play by the rules. It is just that there are certain rules that to be followed, but at the same time, it's not like we're just trying to be draconian. These are rules which are to be respected, and we also have to do a lot for players to feel good. Now, talking about Magnus' points, I think he also mentioned himself, and here I want to be very clear and correct his word, or just to say that I think it's a sort of mispresentation of facts about the freestyle and threatening players, like he puts it this way. We have nothing against the series we disagree to series to be called World Championship without FIDE approving that. That's two huge differences. We are never against any private tournament series which are organized. We are cooperating in a great way with Grand Chess Tour for many years already, making sure that their calendar and our calendar doesn't clash and players have all the possibility to take part in these events. The same was for freestyle chess. I spoke to Jan Bitnev several times about that, and it was all fine. The only problem started when they claimed that they don't care what we think about it and they can call themselves World Championship.
So like a freestyle chess world championship.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
that was my question because, look, I got to tell you, there was 4 very cryptic social media posts over the last week. I sort of tried to read between the lines, but I was wondering, is it simply just a matter of naming rights, or is it a matter of you sort of said, we prefer you don't do this, like the Chess.com World Championship, and they said, no, we're going to do it. Is that sort of where we're at? Or?
No. Not that we don't want them to do it. And Chess.com did this global championship,
global.
like they call it. Very fine with us. I mean, players have more opportunities to play. That's great. And we are always, and once again, we are always on player side. We're happy if they earn more. Anyways, the high water rises all the ships, and it's good if top players earn more, then tier 2 earns more, and so on. And it's a promotion for chess, and everything is great. But it's not about title per se, it's about the role of FIDE, and it's very clearly described also in our handbook and in our charter that we overview all sorts of chess, and specifically Fischer chess, like this, it was there because it is old, I think the decision about that was approved in 2008 or something, 2009 maybe, is also overviewed by FIDE. And it cannot be that a private organization runs World Championship independently of FIDE. That's very clear. And all the players, including Magnus Carlsen, by the way, have in their contracts for the top events they participated in that 4 years since the last participation in the tournament, they cannot play in any tournament which is called World Championship. And it was very clear, and we indicated to players that that would be a breach of the basically of the agreement, of their contract. Nevertheless, we were ready to talk to see what could be the ways to have approval for this championship, but only if FIDE approves it, and not that somebody decides to run a series of events under the World Championship tag.
One final question, which you've sort of touched on, but I'm just sort of going to ask it. Before Magnus left, as you say, he paused, described the stuff about freestyle chess, sort of said he's on his final straw. If that's it, I'm out. And then he said some colorful words. I do wonder, is it kind of a mutual feeling of a last straw in the sense of, what it really comes down to is the genes were told to be changed, and he said, I will change them tomorrow. And they said, no, we prefer if you change them on the break. The hotel is very close. We're enforcing the rules uniformly for all players. And if it really just comes down to, well, he could have just been allowed to be past the rules for one more round. He would have come back tomorrow in slacks, and maybe it would have been water under the bridge. Is there any component of it being a mutual last straw with both parties just sort of being unable to negotiate, come to terms, come to a relative form of peace? And is that why ultimately such a strong rule was enforced for a player of Magnus's stature? It is a big deal.
Very good question. No, a decision was actually a sole decision of chief arbiter, which has nothing to do with FIDE policy making or whatever. Alex Holovchak from England, who is known to be one of the best arbiters for many years now and a principled arbiter. And he took this decision. It was his strong position. We're not hiding behind his back. I back his decision, but it was totally his decision, and he is in a position to take such a decision. And it's not like let's see till tomorrow. Magnus had actually 2 rounds basically to change it, and he just didn't do anything. So it was not under a spirit of a momentum. He just waved and left. No, he did have time. He just decided to not. And whether it could be different, maybe, but I think. Once again, if we do impose certain conditions and certain rules, and we impose fines on players, if Jan Nepomniachtchi has to go to hotel and change, why Magnus shouldn't do so? I think it would be wrong, and I think Alex Holovchak had the right call. I want to stress it very clearly. You put it like there was a massive animosity going to this tournament already, but it's not true. I mean, Magnus came here with his entire family. As you could see here, he was very much welcome. Not only in the studio, I have to say. I cannot disclose details, but it was we met many of his requests, and we tried to be as welcoming as possible. And we really didn't plan to, to make something that would make him angry. We actually wanted him to play. It's good for chess. It's good for everyone. But at the end of the day, when Magnus, it's actually Magnus mentioning a number of factors which led basically to his decision and not our decision. So our only decision was the decision of chief arbiter to actually follow the rules, and even that was given with a delay, so Magnus could adjust and go ahead. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. Magnus is welcome to be as a guest, or better even as a player, even not in Rapid and Blitz, if he reconsiders, more than welcome. It's not a question of a straw, and actually I can say that Arkady Dvorkovich had personally been so often resolving all the disputes with Magnus, trying to meet his every request, not on this occasion, but on previous occasions, on numerous occasions. And we always felt that Magnus is special, and we tried to go not extra mile, but extra 1,000 miles. But sometimes, I mean, if someone is charged with, a decision to, like, colorful words like he is, it probably exhibits itself in actions, unfortunately so. We don't want this story to overshadow completely the competition. Also, we have Arjun Erigaisi and Fabi Caruana fighting for FIDE circuit and qualification to candidates. The title will be decided tomorrow, so a lot of exciting things to look forward. And let's see how it goes.
Who do you think, Simon, will be the world rapid champion tomorrow?
That's a big question. I mean, one thing is for sure, we're going to have an extremely exciting round tomorrow, as long as people keep their trousers on. But it's going to be a great finish, right? I mean, you've got 4 players on 7 points. They're all getting nervous. There's only 4 games to go.
For all the drama, what a day it has been. I'm wondering if we today have witnessed the end of an era with Magnus Carlsen as world champion.